you know what? Books. Let's follow up on that. It was a quick shower, didn't do my hair, just kind of got the shoulders, got some of it scrubbed off. Books and stuff on the lens. As I mentioned, I brought a few books with me to read. I brought the Imperial Radch Trilogy, Radch, R-A-D-C-H. Yeah. Often referred to just as the Ancillary Justice Trilogy, named after the first book in the series, which I had read before and really enjoyed. It is a first-person narration. The character is from a society that doesn't worry about gender, just basically doesn't have gender, so uses female pronouns for everything. I believe I mentioned that before. Starts as kind of a revenge story, and then the second two books, Ancillary Sword and Ancillary Mercy, are sort of a duology after that, but taken together, they're a single first-person protagonist as a trilogy, though with some really neat devices that allow the first-person protagonist to also function as an omniscient third-person protagonist. After that, in the same setting, but not with the same main character, is Provenance, and I just finished this last night. Also enjoyed it, although I prefer the characters and setting of the Ancillary Justice Trilogy. Provenance is set in the same setting, but not necessarily the same location. The same intellectual universe, IP, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it takes place in a different star system, different society, which actually has three genders: male, man, woman, and nemen. He, she, e, his, her, heir, mother, father, nother, nuncle, and uncle, nuncle. So three genders, although again, doesn't, much in the same way that the gender thing doesn't directly affect most things in the Imperial Radch trilogy, gender doesn't specifically affect things in Provenance. It is in the background. It is just, this is a fact of life. There's three genders. It is a limited third-person narration. Ingray Ofgoldson, I could be pronouncing that wrong. The A-U-G-H I'm taking to be as off, because I didn't, while I was reading it, I didn't want to be saying och in my head the entire time. I can't, no, just Ofgold. So, Ingray Ofgold, as the third-person limited protagonist here, does a lot more, like, there's some things that were, like, kind of background in Imperial Radch, that it mentions some aliens, and they take a more front seat in Provenance, and just kind of makes up some stuff that, like, is really important to this entirely alien culture that we, like, okay, this has a basis in things that we find important, but it's brought kind of to the next level and really drives how things are taken in that society and how they react to other societies. Now, the newest book by Leckie is called Raven Tower. I did not bring it with me. It came out 2017, so it should be out in paperback by now. I should know this because I work in a bookstore. I haven't read it before, but there was a preview of it in the back of the book, which I really enjoyed. I can't say too much about it, having only read a single that arm was getting tired. Having only read a single preview chapter, but what I did find very interesting, where Imperial Radch is first person with some stuff that allows it to do third person omniscient. Provenance, limited third person. Raven Tower is told in second person. Excuse me? Yeah, like in the way that me used to a DM saying, okay, you guys walk into this room and whatever. I first saw you when you rode out of the forest, past a cluster of tall offering stakes carved with bulging eyes that mark its edge, your horse at a walk. You rode beside Mawat, himself a familiar sight to me. Blah, 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 blah. So, just for the sake of second-person narrative, oh, I am so there. And this also does seem to deal with gender identity from the little bit that I've read so far, and I look forward to that as well. It is a fantasy as opposed to the certainly sci-fi of the Imperial Radch. I wonder if there's a term for the setting, because the Radch pronunciation, consonants, why? The Raj is a specific spot in the Ancillary Justice setting. There's really, as far as I know, no word for that setting in total, but the Raj is a single spot in that. Anyway, that's all. They're all sci-fi, and then Raven Tower is fantasy. And I usually read sci-fi, leaning into fantasy every now and then. And I think I'm about ready to go on another fantasy kick, led off by Raven Tower. Then I'll probably move on to how to defend 16 Ways to Defend a Wall, I believe, by KJ Parker. I previously read the Two of Swords series by KJ Parker, which my dad recommended to me and kicked me off in my previous fantasy kick late last year. So it's going to be Raven Tower and then other stuff after that. Anyway, yes, that is what I have read. That is what I look forward to reading as soon as I get home. What have you been reading? What did you bring to read on your last vacation? I feel like I should have brought Clive Barker's A Magica because it's big and huge and whatever, but as much as I went through one of these, I think Ancillary Mercy I read in a day. Provenance took me a couple days, and today was the only day that I was like, well, there's this one game on my phone that doesn't require internet connection. Anyway, let me know what you've been reading, what you read on vacation, the kind of things you like to bring with you, and what you're looking forward to reading next. And I will see you guys in the next video, which may very well be after debarkation. We'll see, and I'll see you guys there.